everyone. Welcome to the Sports Wave Network and Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. This afternoon, I have with me a very special guest. He goes by the name of Noah Kendricks. Get done up. So before he comes on, I guess I'm gonna let you all know we have a great show tomorrow as well. But folks, it's been a pretty good time. Got some great guests. And, my host, Key Williams, makes it all happen. I gotta let him know. But Noah and I go back ways. I refereed his games when he was a youngin, and you could tell he had talent then as well. And as he progressed, you could tell there was a talk about how good it was, and he definitely fulfilled most of his obligations and what he thought that he could achieve. And a great career. And I don't want to talk too much about him. I'm going to let him do it because I'm here to give him his flowers this evening. So uh, before he comes on, I guess I just want to talk about here he is right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We got my man in the building.
Appreciate you, my man.
We got the man Noah Fernandez. What I like to do, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on my show. Second of all, what I'd like to do is have you, talk about your grind, your journey. Then talk about your origin of Noah Fernandez.
Oh yeah, I mean, I gotta give shout outs to Wareham and Rochester, Mattapoisett, New
Uh,
Bedford. Just growing up there, playing sports and everything. Where I'm from is a very competitive area, and I think that helped a lot with my career and my passions and stuff like that with basketball, and growing up with people who cared about it and competed, and I had family, I had cousins that I looked up to that played. I had you know cousins my age that I played against and stuff like that, and it was always fun, and going all the way back to when you were refing my games. Even those you know how it is; those get competitive, and I think that kind of with that work ethic, I wanted to be one of the better players out here, and I wanted to prove myself to the country, and show that I was one of the better players in the country. And as I got older, that work ethic picked up, and I started loving the game more and more, and I started loving that kind of grind. And um, I ended up at Rutgers and playing against dudes and playing in a conference I never thought I would end up playing in, and uh, it was great. And I sacrificed a lot, but I think that all the experiences I've had and the people I've met and things like that, it's been amazing, and I'm super grateful for everything and all the people that have been involved in that for sure.
Now, Noah, let's go back to maybe when you were uh, in maybe you're starting your high school career. What was that like?
Yeah, so I played a bunch of sports growing up. I
Mm-hmm.
played baseball, lacrosse, football, soccer. Um, so when I got into high school, I kind of had to lock in on one thing that I really wanted to do. I liked football and basketball the most for sure, but I liked basketball because I wasn't in the cold. Honestly, like I wasn't outside. When you getting hit, in the cold, it hurts a little bit on them fingers a little bit and stuff. So I was like, I like being inside, and I like this basketball stuff. So I chose that, and that year it was great. I worked real hard with my guy Sharik, and we was in the gym a lot, and you know I really in those times I learned a lot, and that was kind of where I learned that work ethic and where it kind of could take me. And that year I obviously was lucky enough to win a state championship, and it kind of showed me that the work I was doing was worth it, and that to keep kind of doing what I was doing, and hopefully it would keep working out. And that's kind of what I stayed level headed trying to do.
Now, no, you quiet, you humble, but I got a big mouth, as everybody knows. So, but anyway, you didn't tell the folks. You won a state title as a freshman. Am I correct?
Yes. It was
Can you tell?
we had a really good team though. You know, my and it was actually really good competition too that year. We played a bunch of good teams. You know, Bryson Goodine was at Sting, and you know, there was a lot of talent. And you know, we I think we finished the season like 27-3 or something like that. We won a state title. It was awesome. The support, you know, from the community, you know, I was thinking about really helped me believe, you know, in myself too. I had people that, you know, would tell me, you know, that they believed in me and I really could do it and keep working hard and, you know, see where it ends up and stuff like that. And, you know, seeing all the people come out and support me and stuff like that, you know, it gave me, you know, some more belief in myself and some more confidence in myself that, you know, I could do it if I kept working.
And what you obviously did. Now, once you were at old Rochester Regional High School in Mattapoisett, you then decided to go to Tabor Academy. Am I correct?
Yes.
And what made you decide to do that? And what was your experiences at Tabor Academy?
I think like one of the main things that Tabor gave me was like the gym access. You know, I could go to the gym kind of, you know, whenever I didn't have class or practice or any other commitment. And, you know, they had a shooting gun in there and Vertimax. And you know, I was just that was, you know, awesome for me at the time because I loved the gym. And, you know, that's what I wanted to do. And they gave me that opportunity and also like playing against, you know, better competition. You know, there are bigger guys there, you know, size wise, more athletic, um, and you know, not necessarily skills wise, but you know, I think there's skill at every level of basketball. But I think just size wise and things like that, the guys were a lot bigger, more athletic, stronger, and so for me, I thought that that would, you know, push me to be better, and that's why, you know, I went there to, you know, play against better competition. You know, that was my kind of mindset.
And you know, something to know is that, you know, right during that transition too, I guess you really got involved in the AAU circuit. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, no, like a big shout out to Expressions,
Ah,
Todd Quarles. You know, that's the man.
yeah.
Yeah, no, like big shout out to him. You know, like he's one of those guys. You know, he gave me an opportunity, you know, to play for his program. You know, help lead his program, and I'll always appreciate him for that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know where I'd be, you know, without him, you know, in my life and supporting me in basketball. So big shout out to him. All the expressions, you know, it's a great organization. Like, you know, like all the coaches, all the players, you know, it's a real family. So shout out to all of them. Honestly, I you know that was huge opportunity for me, and I got to play with some great older guys. You know, some get to see some great younger guys and you know, it was a great experience for sure. So shout out to all of them.
And just to reemphasize, Todd Qualls was my college roommate, and what a great person he is as well. I never knew he was going to go into what he ended up going into. But can you talk about the talent level playing in that AAU circuit? Because you're not really playing weak talent for the most part. You're playing against some very talented individuals. Can you explain some of the teams you went against and where you guys traveled and you
Yeah,
know?
I mean the EYBL. I'm not sure if you know about the EYBL, but it's a Nike circuit, and basically I think they have some odd 20 something teams, and you have like four or five sessions that you play in, and you play against all these teams, and you know, for me, it was eye opening because you know that was when you really got to see, you know, some of the top players in the country and kind of like compare yourself and see how hard you got to go and you know, see how good you really were. And that was like for me all I ever wanted because all I wanted to do was prove myself against, you know, the best competition. And that's why I say I appreciate Todd because you know he helped give me that platform, and you know we had a great group of guys, and you know it was fun. I really appreciate them times, and you know without you know without them, without my teammates, without Todd, like I said, I'm not sure where I would end up. So it was definitely fun. Even the and outside of basketball, you know, like the
Uh-huh.
trips, you know. Uh, the restaurants, going out to eat, you know, in the hotel, whatever. watching movies, kicking it, whatever it is. It was all good vibes. Went to Florida, went to Disney. It was good times, man. Always, always. So when I look back, I'm always super grateful of it because not a lot of people get to have these experiences, and I had a lot of good experiences with basketball. Met a lot of great people, cool people, and I'm always appreciative of that.
Now, after that phase, you were getting. I'm sure you were getting some offers. Can you let the viewers know what offers you were getting? I guess after your playing career at Tabor, and then you went to Woodstock. Am I correct?
Yes, yes, it was my Woodstock for my last year. Yeah,
Oh, but man, you know, I know a little history. I know a little bit.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, Woodstock was great. But yeah, I think I remember though. I always tell this to kids. There's a certain day, I forget what it is, but there's a certain day in like a certain year of high school where like coaches can finally contact you. And I remember that day I like stayed up till midnight or whatever. And I think the only call I got was like from Columbia University.
Hmm.
And like, I'm like, okay, here we go. Like I gotta really push it. Like, this is a good level of basketball. And honestly, one of my one of my best friends from my team last year at Rutgers plays there right now, and they're playing like outstanding right now, which is
Yeah.
funny. But yeah, so I wanted high major offers. I wanted like the high level stuff. Because that's how I thought I was working. That's how I thought I was performing. And so
Hmm.
I just, I kept working. I used that as motivation, and you know, after a while, there's the work catches up. If you work hard and you love the game, eventually, that's gonna catch up to people. And if you just keep your head down and keep pushing, don't pay attention to rankings and any of that stuff. Um, that's important. Staying off of social media and stuff like that. Don't worry about mixtapes and things like that. Just focusing on your work. And grinding. It's hard. It's hard nowadays. It was hard when I was growing up, so I kind of get it. But that stuff's important. That's gonna take you farther than the videos and all that stuff. So, um, that's kind of how I looked at it when I was in high school, and that's kind of how I approached it. And yeah,
So how did you end up going to Wichita State?
so they actually weren't recruiting me at all, and
Hmm.
Coach Greg came to watch the game for some reason. I forget why he said, but he said he just saw me playing hard, and um he thought that I would fit their culture, and he'd never seen me play before, but he was like he thought I'd fit, and I went out there. It was actually the first visit I had planned, and it was just awesome. Like the fans, like it was just a really cool community out there. Like they love basketball. They were winning a lot recently. They went to the Final Four. You know, it was just a really good program. And after going on the visit out there, just the love from the fans, and just seeing the facilities and stuff like that, and how the guys work. It was cool, and I didn't end up taking any visits after that. I came home. I went to my dorm, uh, and I told my parents, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like call them tomorrow and commit because I want to go there. And to this day, that was like one of the best experiences of my life. We won a lot of games. I had a lot of cool teammates. A lot of them still playing now. A lot of them in the G League, NBA, overseas. A lot of cool guys. Great coaches, great staff. It was great, great. All love.
Now, what I wanted to bring out was that what was it like, folks? I know his parents are very involved in his career, and what was it like going from Mattapoisett to Wichita? I
Oh,
mean,
oof. It was a lot different. It was a lot different. It was great though. Like because I liked it being different. I kind of liked being out there. The food was a little different. They had some different restaurants. Just the vibe was different, and I liked it. And I liked that the people loved basketball and appreciated basketball, and not even just that. Like they knew how hard we were working, and they appreciated that. And that's what I liked about it the most, was that you don't really run into a community of people often, that support a team because of how hard they work, rather than how much they win, or whatever. It's like they're valuing how hard you work. And you'll see somebody out and they're like, oh, we appreciate you working so hard. They've never seen a practice or anything, but they just they're just letting you know. And it was cool though. It was cool. It was cool. I loved being out there. The weather was different, very windy. Um, but yeah, no, it was great. It was great, honestly.
Now, Noah, I want you to let the viewers know that what was the transition going from like a Tape Academy and Woodstock to going to a top level Division One? Because especially around here, not too many individuals have the opportunity to go at Division One at that level. We do have our share, but we don't really have that many. So, what was the experience going from maybe like a prep school to a major university?
Yeah, I think all of the schools I went to were different in college. Like Wichita was really um really hard nosed, real old school. But it was cool. Like I loved that. And that culture was winning them a lot of games, and so everybody respected that. Everybody followed it. And that was great. UMass had like great facilities, great trainers, real cool coaches and everything. And but like Rutgers was just a whole new level of like facilities and like training equipment and stuff like that. Just resources in general. And so for me, that was really eye opening. Like whether it's you're going to get treatment, or the people that are coming to watch your practice, or whatever it was, that was just different for me. At that level, it's a I was really grateful, like seriously, man, like as I look back, because the people I got to meet, and whether it was a handshake or stuff like that, just playing at that level was crazy. Tom Izzo, like different. It's like it's like it's crazy, like you're playing a game and he's on the sideline coaching, you know what I'm saying? And while you're there, it doesn't really matter, you're locked in. But you know thinking back on it, I'm really grateful for the things I sacrificed, and how I got there, and the people who gave me all those opportunities.
And no, what I wanted to do as well is because I want the viewers to get to know you because you are an outstanding person. And I want the viewers to get to know a little bit more about you. Now, made you decide to go to UMass?
So I think like a lot of that was COVID. And when COVID happened, I feel like you know I wasn't really sure, after with Wichita, like I wasn't really sure what was gonna happen. Greg had got fired, or he left, and I wasn't really sure who was gonna be hired, at the school. And then with COVID going on, it was like just really crazy. My grandpa had lived with me at the time too. Um, and so like I was just really worried about honestly coming and, spending some time with him, getting closer to home, getting closer to my family, just in case, stuff started going left with COVID. So, I just wanted to be around. And I already had a relationship with McCall, and the head coach at Woodstock, my guy Tony Bergeron, actually was the assistant coach at UMass at the time. So he went from Woodstock to UMass. And so that was obviously great. And so when I had those ideas of coming home, when I entered the portal, they got on me, and it was great. And one of the best decisions of my life. I loved UMass as a school, and basketball. It was really fun, and played with a lot of guys that I went to high school with. Played with one guy I grew up with, and it was great.
Now, talk about when you was at UMass because that's when I paid a lot more attention to you, and so many people around here were supporting you and love what you were doing, and you definitely one of the best point guards to ever come out of this area. Um, Talk about your experiences playing with UMass, and you've had some big games. Yeah, I know about your MVP. We'll talk about that as well. But yeah, hey, I know a little bit, man. I know a little bit. So talk about your experiences at UMass.
No, so when I was first there, COVID, it was tough because couldn't really practice, had masks on. People would catch COVID, so you got to put them in quarantine. You're only practicing with 8 people. I remember we started. I think it was like one coach, one hoop with one ball. So like each person had one ball, and they was at one hoop with one coach, and like that. Those are the rules. And eventually, obviously, it kind of progressed, and we got into practicing and stuff like that. But COVID, it was like games were getting canceled left and right. Like I think we only played 12 games that year, 14 games that year, something like that. um so it was a little frustrating, because we actually had a solid team. We were winning some games, but it was just games getting canceled left and right. Then we would have to cancel one, and it was crazy. But after that, when COVID uh, kind of progressed a little more, that year was awesome for me. I played with Rich Kelly. He's from Connecticut, local New England guy. Rich Kelly, great point guard. People who don't know him, super hard worker. Probably one of the best shooters I've ever seen. CJ Kelly, kid from New York, had like really, really good game, real good game. Smooth, nice handle, could really shoot it, athletic. Um, we had a great, great, great team. And it was fun. I loved hooping with those guys. We had a good year. But then my coach, McCall, ended up getting fired, and Frank came in, and Frank Martin, was at South Carolina. He went to the Final Four. um, he was another hard nosed guy, kind of like Greg Marshall, who I had at Wichita, and um, he was definitely a person I needed in basketball, and in my life. I'm at that time, and as I look back at it, I always appreciate him, because a lot of the things he said, were real, and he definitely knows what he's talking about, on and off the court. He's experienced a lot of things, and playing for him was fun. He was hard on guys, but he let me play free, and I had a great time. The staff was awesome. They had Brian Steele, who was on that team that went to the Final Four. They had Allen Edwards, who two-time national champ at Kentucky. Doug Edwards, his brother, he went to Florida State. He was a first-round pick in the NBA draft. And yeah, so it was great guys to be around. They know a lot. So it was fun. I was around a lot of great guys, coaches and players, throughout my career. So um it was fun. It was fun.
Talk about that tournament that was seen nationally, and I was out here. We saw it about the game-winning shot that you hit and the MVP that you received. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Was it?
After that game, it's just basketball is a roller coaster. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of good games, a lot of bad games, a lot of turnovers, a lot of made shots. And it's a roller coaster. And when you have those moments in the game, it makes all those times seem worth it. Like all those hard times, all the sacrifices. You have moments like that. It makes you appreciate them a lot more. So that's what it was for me. And even that year, I had Matt Cross, who I went to Woodstock with, DeAndre Dominguez, who is from Wareham, I grew up with, TJ Weeks, I went to Woodstock with. A lot of great guys. It was fun.
Now talk about your MVP. Talk about that game I'm referring to.
Yeah, so we played. It was a tournament. We played. I think it was Murray State in the semifinals, and so we're playing Murray State in the semifinals. And that was when they hit two free throws. I think we were down one. and I went down the court, hit a step back, and then that put us into the finals. We played Charlotte in the finals. They were a really good team. And we ended up beating them in the finals, and we won the Myrtle Beach championship. We got a nice little trophy. It was cool. And then I actually still have the ball upstairs. It's like a glass kind of award with a ball inside. And, I got a little the MVP from that, and yeah, it was fun. Myrtle Beach. It was nice, real nice hotel. Nice. We played at, I think it was I want to say Coastal Carolina. But it was a nice gym. It was fun, fun times. Because that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, the basketball stuff is fun. But off the court, just chilling with the guys. Because you're together so much, and you're always grinding, you're practicing, you're watching film, you're lifting, treatment, and everything. And so, on those trips and stuff like that, especially when you win, it makes it extra fun for sure.
Now, after you finished your, when you was in your senior year and you were fifth year eligible, what made you decide to go to Rutgers?
I think that I wanted to push myself to play at a higher level, kind of like I did. My whole life I went from OR to Tabor because I thought that was a higher level. I went to Tabor to Woodstock because I thought Woodstock was a higher level. So I always was doing that, and I felt like it was a good opportunity. I thought, I played well and I worked hard, and I was ready for that. And Rutgers was a great fit for me, and they had a great staff, great people, um, great guys on the team, and yeah, it was a great fit, and I wanted to push myself to play at that level because that was something I always wanted to do. And you know I always appreciate them, the coaches, because without them I wouldn't have had that opportunity to do that and fulfill some of my dreams, of playing at that level.
Something when you were, I guess, gave notification that you were going to Rutgers, one of my uh, old time friends was the assistant coach at that time, Kyle Hobbs, and his brother
Oh
Ron.
man.
Yeah. So I called looking for you and looking for Kyle, but Kyle had already gone to Georgia Tech.
Hmm.
So I missed him, but I ended up talking with him anyway. But that's a strange man. Kyle Hobbs, unbelievable player, but and coach as well.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, both.
I didn't know he had gone to Georgia Tech at that moment. And I called. I think it was one of your ads or somebody had mentioned that no, Kyle left. And then I was talking to him about you, and he was very excited about you coming aboard Rutgers and everything. So that was a great
Yeah, he's a man.
great.
He's a great guy. That's a great dude.
Yeah, he definitely is. He definitely is. But now the reason why I'm so happy to have you come on the show is because I've had a lot of guys who played either when I played or before, or but to have someone like you who just recently played, I want you to let the viewers know what it's really like playing D1, the transfer portal, um, which is more like free agency. I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
put it into terms, what was it like? And what is your thoughts about? I'm gonna hit you a little hard now. What is your thoughts about the NIL when you just recently completing your collegiate career? I want to get an inside look at what goes through a player's mind of today.
Nah, so like college, like playing college, any sport in college is tough. Especially basketball, especially at a high level, because you got practice, um, you got individual workouts, you got lift, you got film, you got to get treatment, you got to get your own extra work in, you got to get your schoolwork done, you got to go to class, you got tutoring. There's just a lot. There's a lot of responsibilities that you have as a college athlete, and so sometimes it does feel like a job because of all these responsibilities, and also you're trying to have fun with it and also do some of it on your own time. Um,
Right.
so I think that NIL. is great. Like because a lot of these kids are putting in a lot of time to these sports, and I think it is good, that they do get paid, but you know, at the same time, it changes the dynamic of college sports because now, um, teams with more money, are probably going to have better teams, and the recruiting process I think is a little different now than it was before. But I think it's good though. I think that for example, somebody like me, I had my son. He was born my senior year at UMass when I
Mhm.
graduated, and like so NIL for me at Rutgers, and those coaches, couldn't appreciate them enough because you know without NIL, I'm not sure how I would have been able to support my family. So so I'm always grateful for it, but it definitely changes the dynamic of recruiting and teams and stuff like that. But I think athletes are deserving of it. I think they do deserve to get paid, and as much money, as they can. Um, and yeah, I like NIL, but it does make college a little different. But there is a lot that more that goes into it that people don't know. Athletes got to do a lot, on a daily basis that people don't pay attention to or people don't realize, because all they see is the games and they watch the games and they see the people at the games and they think that athletes aren't going to class and they think athletes aren't doing their work and things like that. And they have a lot of responsibilities, and it's hard, to balance all those things and also you know, try and perfect that craft. So I think NIL is good. I think it also could motivate people a little more,
For the
now that they
Chinese
are
store.
getting paid,
Or the
and
Chinese
that
store.
their work that they're doing, is worth something when they get to college. But yeah, it definitely changes things. But I do think it has,
Or there's a
like
pizza
everything, I
shop like
think it has
literally right there, like
positives
literally right here in the
and
corner.
negatives.
How do you think it changes the coaching dynamic?
I
Because
don't know where
now
the stir fries are.
basically, they're not really going to your school because structure or reputation or culture.
Yeah.
They're going for the money in most cases. And that's why
Yes.
the old time coaches are leaving or have left because of the fact that they're kind of
So
losing control.
it's
In one way, it's good because it develops parity. Because the lower teams now, if they got money, they can build a better program. As we can see right now with the college playoff situation now, a lot of teams that didn't compete very well now they're able to
well,
compete.
no,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that
So
was the plan.
that and I think
So
that's
we
cool,
going right
but
to terminal. Then we end up
it's
walking
just
around.
it's
And he's like,
different.
well, let's just
I
go
just
here.
think that sports nowadays and college sports are a lot different than they used
No,
to be.
no. If I would have done,
With money involved. And I think, coaching, you got to try and find the kids that do want to come to your program for the culture and, for the structure and not just are going for some
and I'm just
money.
waiting for this money.
I
They
think
land coming.
that was
They
a that
land.
was
They
a
land tonight.
important part of my
Get my
decision.
car.
I was going to the place that had the right fit, and not necessarily just going for some money. I wanted to go somewhere that I thought,
Oh yeah,
I would play and I would fit
yeah.
and we would win. And that was what I wanted to do. I had some
Not my
other
fudge. I was about to say.
offers and some other things like that, but I thought that Rutgers was the best place for me. It was closest, you know, to home, for my family and stuff, and for my son. But so yeah, it was great. I just think you gotta, as a coach, find those kids that really believe in your culture and respect
I
you,
don't
and
blame you. That's how I walked to 7-Eleven.
are gonna mesh with the team.
Now, okay, now you've done completed your collegiate career. What did you want to do after?
Yeah, so right now, I'm still like figuring that out, and I know that I do want to be a basketball trainer. I'm doing that right now. I started that when I got out of college. And so yeah, I'm figuring out what else I want to do right now, but I'm always be a trainer. I think the kids out here definitely could use me as a resource. Basketball, and I always try and help them out.
And what's the great thing, folks, is that Noah played in the PBA, which is called.
Yeah.
He's going to be a member now as well. He's going to be on the board, I imagine, and he's going to help out a lot of
Yes.
PBA. Can,
Since
uh,
Trey and Son's from
let
he
us
coming
know
over for a little
what
bit,
your
just for like
feeling is
weekend.
about that being
He's
a part of the BBA now, and we can welcome you as well.
Yeah,
just
I
them
think it's
9 minutes.
great. I
The
wanna
little one.
I wanna get to work.
But it's
Like I
just
said,
him
I
coming
wanna
because
help as
everybody
many
else leaving.
kids as possible.
So
And, I know that there's a lot of kids that play at
but
BBA,
you know.
and I'd love to start doing sessions and stuff like that, and kind of trying to give them some of the knowledge and the experiences that I had with basketball.
Oh, and now I'm going to give you a little question. Growing up, who was the best player you played with,
Mm-hmm. So I
and
always
who you
played that
played against?
because I had the
I mean, when I
that's the
played in
contest.
the Boys and Girls Club
Yeah,
in
I
New
had the
Bedford,
pick three.
I
So I got
I
the
played with Bryson on
boneless
Northeast
chicken
Maritime.
wings,
And Bryson,
the boneless
I think he
wings,
was dunking. I
the
think he was
Cuban or
dunking the
the
ball
so
in
I
like,
picked the egg
I don't
rolls,
even know, like sixth or seventh grade.
the
Like he was dunking the ball.
chicken
So like
fingers,
I could like
and the
throw it
boneless
off the
wings. Got
backboard
three
to
different.
him.
So by the
And
time I finished
yeah,
that, the
so
bird
I
took
think he was like
ate some of the
obviously
fries. I'm like,
definitely the
okay,
best player like around here that I played against, growing up. Um, but obviously, over
no
my career,
fries.
Zach Eady was obviously crazy to
Ooh,
play against. He was a force, and I think some of the better guards I played against, obviously, like Cole Anthony, Jalen LeCue,
I know.
some guys that were pretty good. Um, you know,
I mean, that's not bad
really, really,
$6.
really good in high school, and just took off in
But
college. And now they're making they're making a lot of money, and they're tremendous players. So there was a lot of good players I played against. Uh, growing up, going through high school and stuff like that. But I think the best player I played with, um, I got to give shouts to my boy Trey Mitchell. He was
ooh.
I played with him at Woodstock. I played with him at UMass. He was just a bucket, and I think he could get buckets against anybody. So he was just crazy to play against. Footwork, he could shoot it. He's athletic. Post work. He was about 6'9", just a force. So I loved playing with him. Oh, also wait 1 second. I gotta give a shout.
Yeah, floor
Rest in
yours.
peace. Rest in peace, Terrence Clark. Easily the best player I've ever played with. He was the most talented. 6'8". Went to Kentucky. He was, man, by far. I think he was 14 years old playing with us. We were all juniors. He was a freshman. He was playing up, and he was leading our team in scoring in the UIBL. He was nasty and from Boston, but shouts to him, man. He motivated me a lot too. He helped me a lot. With my confidence and a lot of things. So, um, those two guys, man, they're different.
You know, what I want to do is like, I like to have my guests make an impact. What would you tell? I'm 15, 14 years old.
Yeah.
I Noah Fernandez. He's 5'11". I'm about 5'9", 5'10". What advice would you give to a young man or girl who's at that age that wants to be like you?
I mean, I would just say like first of all, like what I'm saying, be a good person, like respect people. You know what I'm saying? Be nice to people. That's like the first thing. And the second I think is like to not pay attention, um, and not to get distracted by things that don't matter. Like social media and like I said, like basketball always has rankings and different things like that. And I think it's important, to just stay in the gym, stay focused, on your grind. Stay focused on trying to help your team win games and learn from every game, even if you play good. If you play bad, learn from every game, and just kind of keep going through that process. And man, I think that if you just stay down with that, then I think to work out. That's what I did. I had a couple homies, that were there, and um, they would be there in the gym with me, and they pushed me. Um, so I think that's important too. Find a couple people that love it like you do, and yeah, I think that's all. That's all I would say.
That's awesome. Now, Noah, is there anything that maybe I didn't cover, that maybe something that you want to bring up that maybe I didn't? I think you want to relay to the viewers. The show is being seen pretty wide all over the country. So, if you is anything you can, any wisdom or anything you can impart, maybe I didn't ask that you want to express.
Nah, man. I mean, I think the only thing, yeah, like I'm a father now, so shout out to all the dads out there. I think I'd say a shout out to all the dads out there. And yeah, nah, man, that's about it.
You want to give a shout out to anybody? Since we got this platform, you want to shout out to anybody? Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
giving you your.
all my, everybody, man, everybody. I had a lot of people, involved, and I can't sit here and name everybody. We'll be on this podcast till next week. So, anybody, man, who had a part in it. I really do appreciate everybody. So, it was super fun, and hopefully, I could, train some kids and have a good effect on them, and they could do, a lot more than what I did. So.
Now, what do you think about? I'm gonna change up a little bit since I have you here. What is your idea about the NBA today?
I think I honestly I always think back to like older times, like the early like 2010s, like when I was young, and I feel like the NBA was like really competitive back then, and like the talent is was always here, and I think the talent was getting better since then. But I feel like the league wasn't as competitive. I feel like there were certain teams with certain guys, and you can kind of predict who was gonna win. And I feel like nowadays the NBA is like really competitive, and like on any given night, like any team can win. Um, and so like I think that the games obviously changed. Steph Curry, uh, he's like one of the greatest of all time to me. He completely changed how basketball was played, which like you don't really see like people change how sports are played very often. Usually like tactics kind of stay the same. Like football and everything, like nothing really changes. Like at the end of the day, um, football you're gonna run the ball, pass the ball. Um, like basketball, nobody ever thought dudes would be having 7 foot three guys that were shooting from 35 feet away from the hoop. And at one point it seemed like impossible, and now it's like really happening. And so I think the talent is crazy. And I think it's hard, to play defense. I think the fouls and stuff like that. The offense, has a lot of advantages too. And with that skill, I think it's hard, and it is entertaining. Dudes put up a lot of points every night, and I think in the playoffs and everything they play really hard. And I love that part of basketball. The regular season's great, but when they get into the playoffs, watching that physicality, and you kind of see the preparation and the communication that they have. I love watching the NBA. Honestly, I'm a big college fan, but I feel like the NBA is like super competitive again. So I definitely been more tuned in.
Okay, now I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit. What do you feel? What is your feelings about the? I guess observing the amount of 3 pointers that the NBA players are taking. You think that's good? Do you think it's bad? Is it good for the game or is it bad for the game? And part two, what is your take on load management?
I mean, I was telling one of the kids that I train the other day, like how when I was younger, like um on a fast break, if you had a 3-on-2 fast break and you stopped at the 3-point line, that was like the worst decision you could ever make. Like you got to run to the hoop and try and get a layup. But
Mm-hmm.
like as I got older, it was more, in college it was more acceptable to do that. And the logic behind it, was that as a shooter, and especially when you're getting prepared for as one of the better players on the team and people are trying to take away your shots, you're not going to really get a lot of open looks, especially because when people are screening for you or stuff like that, they know that the ball's going to come to you. So it's the defense is prepared, to try and take away a lot of your looks. So on those fast breaks now, those are some of the only open looks that I would get. So to me, I'd rather stop and get a wide open three that I work on all the time than trying to go in the lane against a 6'5" guy and make a layup. And so I see the sides of it where, you see the guy stop on a fast break and shoot a three and he misses it and it's like, oh, why
Right.
didn't he take a layup? So I see that, but I also see like the shooter side of it where it's like, oh, this might be the best look I get all day. I might as well take it. And I
Right.
think that's how the game has changed because that's what Steph Curry would do. He wasn't running all the way to the hoop. If he got an open look from three, he was shooting it, and if he could get one, he was going to take it. And I think that a lot of people kind of followed that, and obviously nobody could shoot like him. He's the greatest ever to shoot the ball. But I think that people try and emulate that kind of style, and kind of working on reps in the gym and trying to get those same open looks in the game.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now I'm gonna revert back. Now you had a great high school career, prep career, collegiate career. Again, I want to bring it back because I know a lot of youth are watching this as well. And what would you tell these young men and women, I guess, how hard you had to work? Because I think a lot of them don't realize how much work you had to put in because you're 5'11", you know what I mean? And being a point guard at that level, a lot of kids, let's face it, a lot of kids around here, I'm not going to make it to the level that you uh, at. But what advice would you give to them?
Yeah,
And
no,
hold
like
that one, I want, this is my thing, because me being a referee, what would you tell parents?
I think like um just to let your kid like push themselves and kind of push them too. Like I had parents and people and also people around me that pushed me, and I think that was like the most important thing. Like as I was younger, it was a lot of conditioning and weightlifting and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
hard stuff that wasn't easy to do. A lot of different running and different things like that, different workouts. And that it was hard, sacrificing, not going to parties, and trying to make sure all my grades were good, make sure
Mm-hmm.
I'm not posting the wrong things on Instagram or saying the wrong things. It's a lot, but like I said, it's all stuff that comes with it, you know and I think you just got to accept it. If that's what you want to do and that's what you love to do. I didn't mind doing all that stuff. I didn't mind skipping the party to go to the gym. you know I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't really worried about texting the guy trying to find a mixtape. I was just gonna go to the gym and try and get better. I wasn't really focused on that stuff. So I think that's important. And as I got older, it's a lot as you develop the skills and the conditioning and the strength. Now it's a lot of film and a lot of more skill development and reads and understanding the game and understanding defense, where it's supposed to be, different responsibilities, different kind of defenses people are going to play, different kind of screen coverages, a lot of different stuff that you got to prepare for. And that's after you kind of develop the skills for the most part, and you develop some IQ and understanding of the game, and you really got to lock in on kind of the little things, watching film and really dissecting the game.
You are so right because me being a former point guard, uh, a lot of the youth probably don't realize that you are basically a quarterback. And not only do you have to know your role, you got to know everybody else's role, be at where they want the ball. I mean, so it entails a lot to be a point guard when you're forward or a center, you're more worried about yourself. Are you getting your numbers or are you getting the ball? But when you're a point guard, you gotta make sure everybody's getting it beaten. And then look out for yourself and
Yep.
motivate. You know what I mean? So they don't realize how hard it is to be a point guard. They really don't know. But we might have used throughout the course of playing forward and center. But Noah, what I'm trying to delve into you a little bit more. What do you think that is the best thing about playing college ball and the worst thing about playing? The positives versus the negatives. How about that?
I think like I don't know, like the worst thing, honestly, I don't know. There'd be like there's like little like meetings and stuff that you'll have like I don't know with whether it's like it'll be in the film room you have like academic meetings or something like that and it'll be after practice like probably a long practice and everybody's trying to just get in the shower and go home. And you got these little meetings, and I can't lie. Like I remember just sitting through those, and like everybody's trying to get out of there. And I remember they used to be. We just had 2.5 hour practice. Now we got to go sit in this meeting, and it was just. I remember that was that, and it's a long day because we went to lift and film, and we already did everything. So it's like, oh man, now we got one more thing. But the best thing definitely, I think, man, I went to Senegal,
Ooh,
Dakar, Senegal. I went to Portugal. And like
wow.
the people I met, like it's just, everything. All my teammates and everything, coaches, all great peoples. I got to go to different parts of the world. I went to Cancun, for a tournament once. It was great, man. Like the experiences, the traveling, the people you meet. It was, it was great.
Noah, the people watching this, I know they're gonna want to get in touch for maybe some advice or maybe training or those that are local that were watching us as well. How could people get in touch with you to maybe either uh, get to know you or perhaps have you train their young man or young woman, girl or boy? How can they get in touch with you?
So I'm mainly on Instagram. I have my personal Noah Fernandez. People could look me up. Should pop up. And I also have my Trust Your Work LLC, which is my training business. Trust Your Work, and I also have a website, trustyourworkllc.com. And so if you're not on like Instagram or any social medias, you go on the website and there's inquiry pages where you could send me a message and it'll come right to my email. So usually through Instagram or if you go on that website, you could always put a little message in there and it'll go right to my email. And those are the best ways to reach out for sure.
No, great to have you come on the show because you're current, and I'm honored to have you on my show. I want you, if you can, bestow on the viewers anything that you might want to mention. We got about 2 minutes left. Is there anything you want to say? Because I'm going to keep your spot. So I want it to be about you, definitely not about me. So I want you to convey something or anything that you want to convey to the viewers. Anything.
Yeah, no, I think that all this stuff like there's a lot that goes into basketball. You do have to work hard. You do got to get good grades. You do got to be a good person, and stuff like that. But there's a lot that goes into it, and you know, playing at the highest level. I got to see what the grind was like and how hard the lifts were and how hard the conditioning was and how hard people worked and different things like that and like the knowledge of you know coaches who played at a really high level too, at a higher level than me. And so it was good to have those experiences and meet those people, because I loved basketball and I always felt like I wanted to train kids and help kids. So with that, I felt like all these coaches that I met and all the players that I met all taught me different things about basketball. And if people are in the area, anybody, Boston area, all the way down Cape, anywhere in between, or anywhere in Massachusetts, we could figure it out. Hopefully, I could. I'm working on hopefully maybe getting a gym built, and right now, just try and reach out to me if you guys need anything, man.
No, it's so good and so great to hear you again because I keep saying you're current, and I'm old as dirt, so the viewers can more relate more to you than me when it comes to the current situation of college basketball. Now, since you just recently completed your collegiate career, when you sit down on your couch or wherever comfortable and you watch a college game, are your thoughts different when you was playing as opposed to now when you're not playing anymore? But when you watch a college game from how is it different than when you were playing?
I think it's somewhat of the same mindset. Like like I'm looking at dudes in help positions. I'm looking at I'm looking at everything. So I'm kind of thinking of it the same, but I also have an outsider perspective. Where it's
Uh,
different, like little mistakes and things like that. Whereas a player, you might not think is a big deal. Um, I think like I kind of see where coaches, do sometimes have their frustrations or maybe their confusions on what's happening because you see those, and as a player it's kind of like, oh, whatever, it might not have mattered, it might not have cost us the game or whatever, but I think that seeing that is having that perspective of coach and player, has been cool.
Now, before we go, I'm gonna hit you hard again. A lot of times we have, I'm sure you have come across them too. I know I have during my career. A lot of players say, well, I could have, I could have done this, I could have done that. Do you feel that you got the best of your ability
Yeah,
and you
no,
don't have,
I feel like I friggin', you know, put all I could into it. I think that, when it came down to, going professionally, I could have took some overseas opportunities, maybe
Mhm.
got into the G League and, kept pursuing things. But that's kind of why I took a step back. I was grateful for what I did with basketball. I was proud of myself, proud of the work I put in, proud of where I ended up. And I had my son, and I was excited about being a dad and watching him grow up. And I had so much fun, playing basketball and experiencing all that stuff. And I did things I never thought I would do. I played against people I never thought I'd play against. So for me, I was just super proud of that and grateful for that. And I was like, happy and proud to kind of just step away and just be a pops now, watch my little man's grow up and support him, and hopefully he hoops and he gets some buckets.
well, no, something. I want to personally thank you for coming on my show, but more importantly, making the South Coast area proud. We're always, looking out for you, seeing following your career, and now we got Bryson, and we're very thankful for you guys coming up, being great players, but greater people. And like you said, the key is to be humble and be a good person. And you and Bryson epitomize what that means. And again, I want to thank you for coming on my show and taking the time. Before we go, let the viewers know again, one more time, because I want you to get your due, how they can get in touch with you. One more time.
So I got my Instagram is Noah Fern, FERNNN, three N's. And then my other Instagram for my training is Trust Your Work LLC. And that's also the website title. So if you go on there, Instagram, you could send me a message, or if you go on the website, you could send me a message on there too. It'll go right to my email. So Both great ways.
Well, again, Noah, I want to thank you for coming on my
All the
show.
Queens men.
And
No,
so
appreciate you. Appreciate you for having me.
it's been a blast, and you have an open invitation anytime you come on. Maybe next time you come on, we'll go on with Mr. Steve Burgo, which I better give a shout out to before I get fired. But anyway, I'm gonna give a shout out to Steve Burgo too as well. And welcome to the BBA. And again, Noah, thank you for coming on my show. God bless. Take care. God bless. We'll be talking soon. Folks, thank you for tuning in to Sports Corner with the Conn Man on the Sports Wave Network. It's been a blast. You all take care. And I'll be on tomorrow night with some great guests as well. Take care. God bless. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you.